observe us.
As we role-play an unhinged, travel-weary extraterrestrial and his grossly overweight abductee.
So who's who, boys? I guess I'll be the terrestrial then.
Really?
Yeah.
Would you see it that way? Because I'm down 30.
As am I.
All right, man, let's poll the audience. Who's grossly overweight between the two of us? Who would you cast as who? Yeah, she said you clearly. She clearly just pointed right at
We can take a vote of 6, huh?
Who jumps off to you as the grossly overweight one? Raise your hands. She's still pointing directly at you. Okay, here we go.
Oh, no.
Come on, have alien food. Oh, you're grossly overweight.
You'd pass out.
These people look at this thing, they're looking around. Yeah. Oh my God, they're coming along, they're coming along.
How long have I been in there?
Joe, you want that pillow bad, buddy.
This one?
Yeah, but make pathetic attempts to get it.
This guy's staring at you, Joe. Oh, I'm so sorry. Get in her car to reach it. Oh, do you mind if I borrow this really quick?
Who's gonna stand?
You're getting dirty looks now.
This guy's trying to...
Don't get it? Then like scream towards the back of the stall like this one?
I got... This one? No. It's this one. Where you going? You leaving me? You can't go, just hold it.
Joe, hand him as many pillows as possible now.
I'm gonna get the blue one then. Is this one? Keep going, keep going, keep going. There's the white one then. No. Thank you, pal. I appreciate the help. I really appreciate the help. Honestly, it's gonna make it much easier for everybody. Thank you, sir. Thank you. All right, it'll have to be one of these, Claudette, because he's got to go. You're really a treasure. You're really a treasure.
This is the worst day ever. I just had tears rolling down my damn face outside of Madison Square Garden. Murray just realized it. A Verizon worker just called me a sexy ferret. I mean, he's not wrong. There he goes. Humans are awesome. So are puppies and kittens and babies. Retweet. Your tweets are horrible. I strongly believe in segregation. He tweets my account? Why would you write that?
That was...
Oh my God, how long is this? Where is that? Go sit, I believe in segregation.
I don't believe.
You said go sit down.
No, I didn't mean sit down. Hold on.
He said it. Right here on Twitter. I strongly believe.
I didn't mean for you to sit down because I believe in saying I don't. It's not.
You're done. Well, I lost, but what a way to go.
All right, so Sal's in. Sal, go. This is tough. We gotta kickstart this horse.
Joey, where are you going? Joe's gone rogue.
Oh, hey, dude. How's it going?
I'm gonna see you.
How's it? Good, I'm all right. I'm headed out to go back to the office. Did you send that email? Just send it, dude. Don't be in your own head. Just send it. And get somebody's opinion if you have to. How about those two ladies?
You guys seem like you're
ladies.
nice people. I have an email I'm waiting to send. I wonder if I can get an opinion before I send.
Okay.
So it says, Gail, it's really cool if you want to get into animal husbandry. It's not just jerking off horses, though. Anyway, you also jerk off more than horses, bulls sometimes. I promise when you start 6th grade, I'll sign you up for the workshop. Love, Dad. It's a family business and bring your daughter to work day backfired on me. I just don't know if I should send it. If not, I mean, we've already had a frank discussion.
If you're comfortable with that, I think it's okay.
Oh my God!
Thank you so much, Sam. Thank you.
Good work, buddy.
This is Brian, by the way. We have different stations with different games.
My favorite is Zombie Hunter 3000.
I like Zombie Hunter 3000.
Q, your favorite is Violent Crack Addiction.
I like Violent Crack Addiction. You go through all the stages of crack addiction from buying it, and then your life really goes downhill. You get fired from your job. Then you're doing things to earn money for crack. Nobody has ever gotten to the final stage, which is where you make amends.
Play with that a little bit and see if you can improve your clarity.
Guys, whisper in both her ears.
There's the other one. Just put that on your left hand.
Gotcha.
There are a lot of cables. If any discomfort or any cable, we're also not going to let you walk anywhere or place that you don't need to be, so you can feel safe.
On the count of 3, I want the both of you to run up to the guy that's watching and whisper in his ear, "She's doing great."
1, 2, and 3. Whisper.
You're not playing your own game while she's playing. You can watch the educated
I'd be careful with this one because she looks like she knows how to handle it. Yeah, you guys get.
On the count of 3, I want you to both go, "Okay, bye." 1, 2, 3.
Okay, bye.
Q, pull her aside for a second.
Let me talk to you one second, okay, please.
I produced some erotic VR stuff on the side if you're interested.
Okay, no, all right. I have some bad news for you.
Yeah.
On the fountain. Oh, you've never seen the turn on?
Q, you know Chase, one of our crew members.
Oh, look at this. See this guy?
Oh, he's got the short shorts.
Yeah. What's up with this guy? Oh, those are some short shorts. How you doing, bro?
This may be an unpopular opinion,
This might be an unpopular opinion, but
but there should be way more male prostitutes in this park.
there should actually be way more male prostitutes in this park. You know? Look at this guy. More male prostitutes. Oh, look at him. We need more of that. Do you agree? I guess I agree. You agree?
Oh, yeah, you got it, Q.
How's it going, brother?
It's going. I just got a quick question for you.
What do you got?
Just want to know how much. It would lower the amount of time that I feel you need to be out there. Dan Cass being one of our beloved crew members.
But every time you pass him.
All right, so let's see if you do a drive-by.
Excuse me. Hands up. Watch out. Hands up. Hands up. Hands up. Oh my God.
Right now,
Yes.
stewing in it. Where I would like you to walk by slowly, but don't touch it, but just let her guard go up as you walk by.
I'm sorry? You just closed my laptop?
Yeah.
Why did you do that?
Oh, you know what it was? The laptop was open.
That's the face of a punished man.
She gonna pass Dan Cass? You know the rules.
Look at Hopper wants a kiss. No, just turn around. On the back, Hopper's waiting for a kiss, please.
It's not the bit.
It's for it.
I'm sorry.
There you go. Martin, then the new PA sit next to him. The new PA with the beanie hat right there.
Welcome.
He doesn't work for our show.
Season 8, what are you doing?
I can't believe I'm both of them.
That was great. That was amazing.
Where you from, John?
You commuted from Astoria. Where are you coming from?
Oh, here and there. What college did you go to?
I went to Buffalo State.
Oh. Georgetown. Ivy League.
Oh my God! Murray! Oh man.
Mind if I see how you're doing? Is that okay?
Sure.
You think that's the most efficient way to do this, John?
Oh.
I mean, feel free to give me some advice if you see more efficient way. I'm open to
He's
listen.
taking your energy and he's giving it back to you a little bit.
Ooh. All right, Murray, it's time to send and packing.
Maybe this is not gonna work out today.
Oh.
Why don't we just say, handshake? Let's kind of wrap it up right now. Sound good?
I don't understand, but okay.
I appreciate it, man. Thanks so much.
Oh.
My God.
Now comes the turn, though. Now comes the turn.
I'm confused. You said you don't want his help anymore?
It didn't sync up, no.
What didn't sync up?
Him working with for me didn't sync up, I thought. So I let him go.
You're not in any position to let him go.
I'm not the lead of the project?
John's the lead. I got a couple of people I might be able to do a little replacement. Joe, you keep going. I'll be back.
What's up, kid?
Oh, yes, John! Look at the dynamics turning!
I feel like we might have gotten off on the wrong foot. I had misinterpreted the situation, John.
John's giving him the cold mother.
You better grovel, bitch!
I thought that he put me in charge. I didn't realize that I was not the lead of the project.
So you treat me like that?
You have to understand, John. My wife is not in love with me anymore.
Oh my God, he's trying anything!
I just need you to hear me. I would never normally behave that way.
Okay, I understand. It's cool.
But you're busy. I'll get you coffee. My treat. I'm gonna get the coffee for you. It's my treat. I'll get the coffee. Buffalo State's a great school. I'll be right back. Let's see. Is he gonna let me stay?
Do you think I should keep this guy on for the rest of the day? Or you think I should replace him?
I hate being that guy. I mean, he's constantly talking over me and talk down upon me because he's a Georgetown. Honestly, I don't feel comfortable. I mean, he just.
No! Too good! Wait till we no return!
I'm proud of that.
The Romans ran you down with the horses.
You hate horses, though, right?
You fact check. You hate horses.
I do not hate horses.
Romans? You hate Romans?
You hate Romans?
Do you hate Romans or Romans?
I don't hate a lot.
How do you feel about numerals?
Things Roman adjacent. How do you feel about numerals?
I didn't understand them for a very long time.
Well, suck me silly, you were a pumpkin.
Suck me silly though. It looks like you were a pumpkin. You were a damn pumpkin. We come from the earth, so people, I also get people as trees, as plants, as things of that nature.
For instance,
I
was a zucchini.
I was in the squash family as well. I was like more of a zucchini or some squash.
You look insane!
I can't believe how much I'm picking up here. It's a very fun read.
You were a milquetoast little twerp with no spine and died a coward's death choking on a duck egg.
I'm getting that you were possibly at one time like a milquetoast little twerp with no spine, died a coward's death choking on a duck egg. But this is just general terms. I wish I had more to tell you about.
So you're in nursing school. You also work at the hospital as well. So I was talking to the wrong person. Because you have seen some stuff. Take us through. I'll get to the show in a minute. Take us through something not morbid or upsetting, but something like, oh my God, this guy came in with a Rubik's Cube up his ass, something like that. But it was solved, something good. It wasn't solved before it went in. Did that ever happen? If that happened, tell that story. Shut up.
What if 1999 got you your choice of two pizzas, Parmesan bread bites and cinnamon bread bites? Wait, it does? Oh yeah, it's the perfect
Blah, 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 blah.
A few days ago, the Department of Justice added to their massive Epstein files dump, which is now sitting at something like 3.5 million documents in total. And ever since the most recent release on the 30th of January, I've been digging through to see what I could find. There is still so much to dig through, and new revelations are constantly coming out from people sifting through the data. Just to give you an example of just how much material was released, this recent dump consisted of 4 datasets, which were numbered 9 through 12. Several of the datasets are hundreds of gigabytes in size, and that's with them being compressed into zip files. With all that being said, I'd like to share everything that I have uncovered over these last few days. Just as a warning, a lot of what you're about to see and hear is extremely disturbing, and yeah, just brace yourself.
Epstein and...
This is one of the most disturbing aspects of the new release, but it gets a bit muddy as what we're about to talk about is clearly a collection of anonymous tips and complaints sent to the FBI, typically via phone calls. One of these complaints, which can be found in Dataset 10, was received on July 4th, 2016 through a report to the FBI's public access line. The call was made by an attorney representing an anonymous Jane Doe to report, quote, the sexual exploitation and rape of a minor child of 13 years of age by Donald J. Trump and Jeffrey E. Epstein. Maher stated that his client Jane Doe was enticed to cross state lines to visit with Epstein and Trump to perform sexual acts on both adult men at special parties hosted by Epstein. Doe was told that this was to further her modeling career and something that she had to do. During the summer of 1994, after her 7th grade school year ended, Doe took a 3-day bus trip from her father's home in the Midwest under the pretense that she would be visiting her grandmother. Doe traveled instead to New York City in order to start a modeling career. Doe was initially turned down and asked to return with a portfolio at a later time. While waiting for her bus home, Doe was approached by Redacted and was urged to return to attend a party hosted by Epstein so that Doe could meet important people in that field of work who could help her break into a modeling career. Doe was also told that she would be paid for attending a party. Redacted mailed Doe a buddy pass plane ticket to fly her back to New York. Doe attended 4 of these parties and was paid around $500 for her attendance. Redacted instructed Doe to use the name Redacted at these parties.
Doe.
The complaint then goes into such a graphic description of SA that I can't even read it here verbatim on YouTube. The complaint ends with the following. Doe was then threatened with violence by both men to not make any report of what happened.
I want this word.
Quote, will make you disappear like Redacted. It's not clear exactly who this young girl was or if this report progressed beyond the initial complaint. Again, I'm obligated to say that this simply is a record of a complaint made over the phone. Nothing regarding the complaint has been proven definitively, and little to no other information surrounding this phone call is available to the public. Something that I feel the need to mention here as well is the fact that the FBI sits within the executive branch of the United States government, meaning they are directly held accountable to the president. Based on the fact that this was reported to the FBI just months before Trump entered office in January 2017, there's a clear conflict of interest here. Of course, the same goes for the actual release of the files occurring right now with Trump back in office for his second term. If he really is implicated, well, that means he's the boss of the entire department entrusted with uncovering those crimes. Of course, this one report is just one of many, many reports like this in the files. At this point, I decided to search for more of these FBI complaint forms in the files, and I found this one in dataset 9. Unfortunately, it's almost entirely redacted. Oh well, surely the FBI had good reason to redact the entire thing. Probably protecting victims' privacy and all, right? Since that's literally the only legal reason they can redact these files. According to the text of the Epstein Files Transparency Act, the U.S. Department of Justice may only withhold or redact information for a very narrow set of legally permitted reasons, most prominently to protect victims' personally identifiable information. They are barred from withholding or redacting information for any other reason. With that in mind, let's move on to the next complaint form that I found. Wait a minute. Are you telling me they redacted the exact same file 2 different ways?
Maybe because I shopped there? I don't know.
Well, they actually did it 3 different ways because while digging through, I found yet another copy of the same exact document with even less redactions. Let's read this version and see what's inside to try and figure out why they redacted that first one. Complainant stated that she is a professional artist and took pictures of her sisters, 12 and 16 years old, for her own personal artwork. Epstein stole the photos and negatives and is believed to have sold the pictures to potential buyers. Epstein at one time requested redacted to take pictures of young girls at swimming pools. Epstein is now threatening redacted that if she tells
No, this is Portland, Oregon.
anyone about the photos, he will burn her house down. This document is super disturbing to me for several reasons. The first reason is the fact that nearly the entire document was originally redacted by the Department of Justice, even though no sensitive identifiable information is present, at least not from what I can see. And this is a really big deal because this kind of thing where multiple copies of documents are
So you can hear it.
found with varying levels of redaction can be seen all over this latest release of the Epstein files. It's important because it means information is being withheld and blacked out for essentially no reason. These instances where there's duplicate copies we can view directly are where we've gotten lucky, where we can prove that they removed important allegations, testimonies, and other information that might be necessary to painting the full picture. We might never know what information was pulled or blacked out that we'll never get to see. Take this document, for example. Yeah, it's literally just a bunch of black pages. What's in here? Is it another complaint form with damning testimony against elites or those in power? Did the Department of Justice decide to save their own asses by fully redacting a page incriminating their boss? We have no way of knowing, but because of instances like this, we know that they are absolutely redacting important information that they legally have no right to redact. But there's even more important revelations to be made in regard to this document. Notice the date this was filed. September 3rd, 1996. That is fucking insane. Are you telling me the FBI has been receiving tips against Jeffrey Epstein since 1996 with a damning account of him stealing and selling CP before threatening the photographer with arson, and we're only just finding out about all these very specific details surrounding his crimes. As I'm sure some of you familiar with the Epstein saga have already put together, the photographer involved in this case is Maria Farmer, and she is in fact known as the very first person to file a criminal complaint to law enforcement in regard to Jeffrey Epstein in 1996. Her story is well known and has been well known for some time. We've known for a while that she, at one point, had a lockbox containing her personal nude and semi-nude photographs, as well as the negatives of her younger sisters, which were taken as anatomical studies for graduate art class. This lockbox had been pried open and had its contents stolen by Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell while she was working with them, but more on that later. However, from what I've put together, this release from a few days ago is the first time the public has seen the official complaint to the FBI from when the incident originally happened. With this in mind, and with her speaking out against Epstein and his associates so publicly for years, it's hard to see why they would black out her entire testimony in that first document. It's just plain sloppy, and sloppiness cannot be tolerated with one of the most important criminal cases in American history. Anyways, here's another complaint form, one that's honestly even more disturbing than the others we've just discussed. For context, this was filed by a man named Edward Aragon, the host of an Albuquerque radio talk show known as The Rock of Talk. He went to the FBI after receiving a disturbing anonymous email regarding Jeffrey Epstein's Zorro Ranch on November 21st, 2019. Zorro Ranch was Jeffrey's massive 10,000-acre private estate in New Mexico. It featured a large mansion and other facilities where he hosted guests and obviously brought the girls. It has been repeatedly identified by victims and investigators as a key location in Epstein's shady activities. I suppose I should read the email which he received first before getting to the complaint he filed with the FBI. The email reads, quote, Edward, this is sensitive, so it will be the first and last email depending on your discretion. You can choose to take it or trash it, but this comes from a person that has been there and seen it all as a former staff at the Zorro. The material below was taken from Jeffrey Epstein's home as my insurance in case of future litigation with Epstein. Sorry, no questions. What is defaming about Jeffrey Epstein is yet to be written. Did you know that somewhere in the hills outside the Zorro, 2 foreign girls were buried on orders of Jeffrey and Madam G? Both died by strangulation during rough-ish sex. Here are the video footage of Jeffrey Epstein. They then list the 7 disturbing videos he is offering to Edward Aragon. These appear to be fairly long videos, ranging from 7 minutes all the way up to 27 minutes long, obviously containing horrifying evidence of Epstein's evil activities. It seems that he was simply listing the different files here and didn't actually include the files in the email. Please arrange for 1 Bitcoin by 6 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time today, Thursday, 11/22/19, to the following Bitcoin wallet address. The USB will be sent anonymously to your attention by overnight carrier upon receipt of the funds. You have my assurance this is exclusive, never shared before. No attorneys, no samples, no questions, please. Confirm ASAP. After receiving this email, Edward immediately decided to take it to the FBI. Upon contact, the following report was made. On 11/25/2019, Edward Aragon, personal information redacted, came to the Albuquerque office of the FBI to report an email he received offering 7 videos of sexual abuse and the location of 2 foreign girls buried on Zorro Ranch. On 11/21/2019, Aragon received an email from redacted@protonmail.com regarding 7 videos of SA by Jeffrey Epstein and the location of 2 foreign girls buried on Zorro Ranch for sale for 1 Bitcoin. The email had a valid wallet for the funds. The email had a deadline of 11/22/2019. The author states that the information was insurance against future litigation against Epstein. Aragon believes the email could be valid since he uses his full first name and thinks he is a listener to his radio show. Aragon owns a radio show, Rock of Talk, where he has conducted his own extensive investigation into the Epstein Ranch and has obtained significant information about it. Aragon has been published in other news outlets regarding his investigation. Aragon also consulted other members of the media regarding the email. The consensus was that it may be real and that he should report it. However, again, this is all surrounding a single anonymous email from a potential listener of his radio show. The fact that the show broadcasts to the Albuquerque area, from which the Zorro Ranch is just an hour's drive away into the surrounding desert, might mean the person who emailed him truly was local to the area, worked on the ranch, heard his show, and decided to share the information he had been sitting on. Unfortunately,
it's the NBA on Prime.
Thursday, the Bucks lock horns with the Thunder. Then the Mavericks battle the Lakers. Bucks, Thunder, Mavericks, Lakers. Thursday at 7 p.m.
Dear Acorns, I'm planting seeds with deep intention for my children and grandchildren. As a first-time investor, this journey means everything to me. My name is Chiani Hall, and this is my Acorns.
unfortunately, little other information is available. Aragon did not send the Bitcoin, and as a result, nothing came of the situation. The final anonymous complaint I'm going to be covering in this section is another one that has been heavily circulating online recently, but for good reason. This is likely the most disturbing collection of anonymous complaints in the files, and it was one of several that were taken down from the DOJ's Epstein repository. They have claimed that this was due to technical overload, redaction errors, or privacy concerns, but I really don't buy that. At least not for this specific example. Given the wild accusations that the following file contains against Trump, I wouldn't be surprised if the DOJ was trying to save themselves by taking it down without anyone noticing. It was swiftly put back in its place on their website, I assume upon realizing that the damage was already done.
Yo, what's up, man?
Anyways, let's just get into the file. The first section reads, Redacted reported an unidentified female friend who was forced to perform oral on President Trump approximately 35 years ago in New Jersey. The friend told Alexis that she was approximately 13 or 14 years old when this occurred, and the friend allegedly bit President Trump while performing oral. The friend was allegedly hit in the face after she laughed about biting President Trump. The friend said she was also abused by Epstein. We then move on to the next complaint.
Damn.
At age 16, while modeling, Caller attended 8 parties at Epstein's New York residence. On one occasion, Caller reported she was assaulted by Epstein. On another occasion, 2 twin brothers, Alan and Orrin, lured Caller and her friend upstairs, but they escaped back downstairs. Caller stated Orrin, her best friend, and a third brother, Tall, a 14-year-old girl named Redacted. Caller named other individuals involved in, quote, big orgy parties with her, other young girls, and older Victoria's Secret models, including Bill Clinton and Donald Trump. Complainant reported she was a victim and witness to a trafficking ring at the Trump golf course in Rancho Palos Verdes, California, between 1995 through 1996. Complainant reported Ghislaine Maxwell as the madam and broker for parties, clients of whom included Epstein, Robin Leach, and Donald Trump. Complainant reported participating in orgies that some girls went missing, rumored to have been murdered and buried at the facility. Complainant reported being threatened by Trump's then head of security that if she ever talked of what went on there or who she saw, she would, quote, end up as fertilizer for the back nine holes like the other cunts. Complainant claims to have video of high-profile parties, dealings with cartels, and having witnessed Robin Leach strangle a young girl to death at a party.
Yeah. Yeah, that guy's kind of a weirdo.
This next one appears to have come from someone who spoke directly with the victim. Quote, the victim reportedly knew about criminal activity that occurred in multiple states and on airplanes, and told complainant there were films of prominent men such as Epstein, Bill Clinton, and Donald Trump, and that Ghislaine Maxwell is in the videos as well. Just across the files we've already gone through so far in the video, we've now heard multiple claims of there being actual video evidence out there of these horrific crimes. Videos that might actually finally prove beyond a shadow of a doubt exactly who was at these parties and what horrific, dare I say, satanic things they did there. Something that distresses me, however, is the idea that, well, with the rise of AI video, how could we ever really prove any of these videos are real? I mean, even if the public is pretty sure that they're real, couldn't the rise of AI lead to issues when trying to actually prosecute or hold these people accountable? Is photo and video evidence no longer enough to prove these people are guilty? This is terrifying to think about because we are desperately in need of some damning, irrefutable evidence like this so we can actually go after these elite pedophiles. So far, it's looking less and less likely that we'll ever actually see any of these videos reach the light of day. But even if they did, could these politicians and billionaires just hide behind the AI defense? I hope not. Regardless, it pisses me off that the FBI seemingly had an endless array of opportunities to obtain these incriminating videos, yet apparently never got their hands on any of them. Not after raiding each of Epstein's homes, not after receiving innumerable complaints from victims, all accusing the same people of doing the same horrific things to them. I find that very hard to believe. It's blatantly obvious that there is absolutely a massive cover-up going on.
Isn't Portland kind of a shithole? Kinda. Yeah. Yeah, it is. I gotta change my bong water real quick.
Granted, we have received a lot of new photos and videos in these releases, which we will be getting into in a moment, but conveniently, only enough to incriminate Epstein himself, who took all of the accountability with him when he took himself out in that jail cell. To me, it's pretty clear that he seems to have been chosen as the scapegoat for this whole operation, with the FBI's story indicating that there were no clients, there were no parties on the island, he just hoarded all the girls for himself, and now he's dead, so it's all over, case closed. Literally nobody is buying that, and especially not now after the DOJ was forced to dump these files. Not after we've looked at this mountain of complaints and tips from victims, identifying the same powerful people, all involved in the same criminal activities. Of course, the couple that we've touched on so far have barely scratched the surface of what's actually sitting in this dump. In fact, just within this one document, it only gets worse as we scroll down. Complainant following up after a call with NYPD officer regarding her previous tip, reporting that she was forced to perform sex acts when she was 13 years old and pregnant in 1984. Complainant also reported there were high-profile individuals involved in her sex trafficking and the murder and disposal of her newborn daughter. Complainant reported Donald Trump participated regularly in paying money to force her to perform sex with him, and alleged Trump was present when her uncle murdered her newborn child. Again, I'm obligated to note that these are all anonymous tips and claims. Most of them, according to the column on the right, appear to have been unverified, which means none of these can really be used as proof in said court. They seem to have largely just been anonymous phone calls to the FBI, and because the email chain this chart was included in was made in August of 2025, much of the Epstein-Trump information was obviously already a very hot topic and widely publicized. Unfortunately, it seems that the majority of the claimants in this document could not be contacted by the FBI following their initial tips, and as a result, they remain unverified. There have been allegations for some time now that Jeffrey Epstein had a secret child, or even a multitude of secret children that were never revealed to the public. There's actually a lot of evidence to support this, though there's a near total lack of information regarding who these children actually are or where they ended up. Something that isn't talked about nearly enough in the public discussions of Epstein is his obsession with genetics and human enhancement. He appears to have been fascinated by eugenics and the process by which he could create superior offspring. In the early 2000s, he confided to prominent scientists like Marvin Minsky, Steven Pinker, and Martin Nowak about his plan to impregnate up to 20 women at a time on Zorro Ranch, and about his fascination with genetic engineering and artificial insemination, fertility tech, and selective reproduction. These facts specifically are nothing new. It's been reported on for many years now. He also founded the Southern Trust Company in the U.S. Virgin Islands in 2012, which pivoted to DNA mining and genetic analysis, surprisingly amassing $200 million in revenue. With this context in mind, I want to point you to the following PDF found within Dataset 12. The document is a scanned copy of some kind of coded scrapbook, apparently written by a victim of Epstein. If the account told within this book is true, I don't know. I really don't even know what to say. If it is, this thing goes so much deeper and splits off into so many different directions than any of us could have ever imagined. The code is pretty easy to crack. You just have to read the top letter, then the letter beneath it, before going back up to the top line and doing the same in a sort of up and down zigzag pattern. The DOJ also figured this out very quickly and translated it back into plain text for easier reading. Here's what it says. Close your eyes, close your eyes, close your eyes. Don't speak, she doesn't talk. I can't stop shaking and it's been a week. A decision was made, but I can't tell Jeffrey. These things happen. Why didn't I close my eyes fast enough? The doctor was different again. I think from Israel. He had kind eyes, but didn't speak directly to me. This was different. A shot and those rod-like things had a hook and so much pain. Ghislaine said to push all the pain away. I don't understand. Blood and water all over the bed, and she was right. Like a feeling when your tummy hurts and you have to push. She said to close my eyes and put her hands over my eyes, but I didn't close them because of these tiny cries. I am so lost. I saw between her fingers this tiny head and body in the doctor's hands. It reached its tiny arm up and had a tiny foot. I closed my eyes and no more cries. I don't understand. Just say these things happen. But he doesn't believe that. They yelled and screamed, and he said it would be the same in a couple of months, and she said she was fed up with it all. I don't understand what's going on, and no one will tell me. I can't go to school like this. I can't stop shaking. Why won't anyone make it stop? I know Ghislaine is trying, but nothing changes. Why didn't I close my eyes? The next page contains a mix of magazine clippings and handwriting, which read, A Short Life, Tragedy, My Heart is Breaking, along with, I Know I Am Breaking. Beneath this, a page from a book containing a poem titled Stillborn, of which the girl crossed out the word still. Beneath this, more coded handwriting. In the hall, Ghislaine said she was beautiful. She was, not is. She was a beautiful girl. I heard her. Where is she? Why did she stop whimpering? She was born. I heard the tiny cries. I can't do this anymore.
Making our best to share with others is a tradition that connects us all. From the communities and kitchens of Fair Trade Farm.
Dr. Pay had
Throughout the history of Pokemon, there was only one that I think Game Freak most likely
Welcome to Jesse Waters.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is a warning. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, this is a warning. Thank you.
Denver police have identified a serial killer who murdered 5 women more than 40 years ago.
In January 2022, DNA helped police solve the 1979 to 1981 murders of 4 women. Joe Michael Irvin, who had taken his life shortly after the last victim, was positively linked after over 40 years. But those were not the only unsolved murders of young women in the Mile High City from the 70s to 90s. As many as 27 to 38 women, many of whom worked in the sex trade, were being found at a rate of twice a year in a 20-year span. But it would not be until 2008 that any of the crimes were linked. Another deceased killer, Billy Edwin Reed, would be linked in another 2 murders, but could not be proven in any of the others. But it is impossible for these men to have been the only ones. There was at least 1 or more other killers roaming the streets of Denver for over 2 or more decades before going silent. Recent advancements have helped answer some mysteries, but many more remain. Whether 2, 3, or more serial killers, as of now, these unknown men have been attributed to a single name: the Denver Prostitute Killer.
Goes on in San Francisco for the man known as the Zodiac Killer.
There could be a serial killer in Chicago.
The Oakland County child killer. Ayrton Kill.
Frankfurt slasher.
4 children have now been murdered.
Killed 5 and says he's going to kill again.
15 brutally murdered young women.
The pattern is the same. One by one, the death count started rising.
A man in a mask robbed, tied, and stabbed him.
Strangled, stuffed in burlap bags.
It is highly unlikely that these women were murdered by separate men.
Where will the killer strike next? Police can't answer who or why.
That's the question that we'll never know.
I don't want to live the rest of my life wondering if this person's going to be caught.
I believe that there's someone out there that has knowledge, and he's probably still at large.
If you know Rune Road, you know we value our privacy. But in our personal life, it's not always easy to maintain. Whether we know it or not, sites will mine our data like full name, email, health records, and more, which they will sell to scammers, spammers, and anyone else who wants to snoop. That's why we started using Aura, the sponsor of today's video. Aura shows us which data brokers are selling our personal information and automatically submits opt-out requests on our behalf. This not only reduces the amount of spam you'll get, but protects against hackers who can use this information to gain access to our social media, bank accounts, and other sensitive information. Aura also provides a ton of other features bundled into one easy-to-use app at an affordable price. You get antivirus, VPN, password management, parental controls, identity theft insurance, and more without needing to bother with different apps. We all have 1 or more of these tools already, but not having Aura is like locking the front door and leaving the back door wide open. And if you're a regular viewer, you'll know how often that happens. Like 24-hour security, motion sensors, and guard dogs, Aura is always on, doing the hard work of keeping my info safe so I can focus on other tasks with peace of mind. Relaxing. Rune Road values our privacy, and we also value yours. Go to aura.com/RuneRoad to start a free 2-week trial, also linked below in the description. Reviewing dozens of unsolved murders, Denver PD would decide upon 16 women as probable victims to the Denver serial killer. The women were typically known sex workers, usually abducted while hitchhiking or picked up from bars or fast food restaurants. Their beaten and strangled bodies then dumped in rural areas off of Interstate 70 in the metro Denver region. Some were sickly posed with their legs spread apart as wide as possible. Using this data, one can find as many as 26 others that could fit into that pattern. With a victim list of over 50, this will be no easy task, and I've decided to split a chronological timeline into separate chapters. First, we'll cover the 16 official victims, then going over the possible ones. Before we dive into this case, I need to warn you it's going to get complicated. Police believe as many as 6 serial killers were active in the Denver area during this time period. Further difficulty comes from the fact no complete list of the victims attributed to which killer has been made available, making this a much more difficult task. The investigation narrowed down the list to 16 victims they believe attributed to the one killer. But there are many others with similarities. It was June 19th, 1976, when 21-year-old Rebecca Kellison went out for a Friday night at the clubs with her sister and her sister's husband the weekend before her beauty school final exams. She would spend the night at their home near East Colfax Avenue and Madison Street. The next morning, she left a note she was heading back to her parents' home in Aurora, believed to either take the bus or hitchhike. She would never be seen again. 2 years later, in December 1977, a farmer plowing his field in what is now the runway at the Denver International Airport would uncover a pile of buried clothing. It would turn out to be Rebecca's, including her shoes and underwear. Police would state that they would search the field then and before the runway was built, though Rebecca's parents dispute their thoroughness. It has been speculated that animals may have taken her remains over the half year they were out there. Meanwhile, the second young girl to go missing was 15-year-old Gail Paige Johnston on August 26, 1976, when she said she was going to go hitchhike somewhere. It was September 5th that year when her nude, bound, and gagged body was found about 9 miles west of the airport, on the side of these railroad tracks off of Highway 2. She had been shot in the head. It was August 18, 1979, when the partially nude and beaten body of a young woman was found 30 feet from the road near I-70 and Gun Club Road, south of the airport area. Her legs had been spread apart. Police would ask the public for help identifying her, and received over 200 tips, including one that a young girl had been seen sitting in a car with a husky blonde man in a Chevy Nova or Vega, Denver's Capitol Hill neighborhood. Finally, the body would be identified as 16-year-old Kimberly Jean Graben. Frequently running away from home due to sexual abuse, Kimberly had been sent to the Lookout Mountain School in March the previous year, but continued to run away. The final time from the Chatfield Recreation area during the work release program on July 23rd. She frequently hung out in the Capitol Hill area along East Colfax Avenue, last seen on August 17th when Vice officers spoke with her. Other witnesses reported a light-colored car parked all night near where she was murdered, in which a man and woman were seen inside. A few days later, a similar incident occurred in the nearby Rocky Mountain National Park, but the woman survived. However, police could not prove a link between the man arrested and Kimberly. No photos exist of 19-year-old Cynthia Boyd, a sex worker last seen at her home at 3830 Elizabeth Street in Denver. On February 21st, 1980, her strangled and nude body would be found lying face down on the East 88th Avenue roadway, about in front of the Tower Road landfill. She had ligature marks on her neck, and though initial reports state she was pregnant, an autopsy would disprove this rumor. While very little information exists on Cynthia and the earlier victims, just 1 month later, another murder would occur that was so savage it is still remembered today. In a similar story, 15-year-old Stephanie Ann Bauman had run away from a group home for troubled children. After her parents divorced, there was tension in the family, and Stephanie had voluntarily checked herself into the group home, but decided to flee. For 2 weeks, she had stayed with friends while working on contacting her family to get back home. It was October 28, 1980, when a driver along County Road 173 south of Byers, Colorado, spotted the nude body of a female in a ditch alongside the road. A sketch was released that would identify her as Stephanie. The investigation was able to piece together her horrific final hours. 4 miles down the road, near where an old windmill stood at the time,